people are protecting their privacy by using the privacy tab. And that's not enough.
Everybody is collecting vast amounts of information about ourselves.
These providers can see how much battery your device has left. There's some really specific stuff that you leave behind as a trail, which people have no idea. So the awareness piece for me is a big factor.
They can track your location by leveraging the fact that your phone is actually doing a lot of stuff in the background, not just GPS, but also searching for Wi-Fi networks.
Well, welcome to today's episode of Cybercrime from the Frontline, Season 3, and we're talking about personal operational security because we are being tracked and watched and monitored, as you know, by, it seems like everybody, right? So we're going to talk about what are some of the ways we should be concerned about, and then what can we do to increase our own personal operational security. My name is Bruce Sussman. I'll be your host today here in the Bitdefender studio, and with me are three fantastic experts on this topic. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and so I think we should start with some introductions. So Silvio, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Bruce.
Would you introduce yourself and tell us about your role as well?
Yeah, I'm Silvio. I'm the director of adversary intelligence. So we get to know something about beyond the fence, how the bad guys operate. And my insight here will be on how to protect your very essential privacy in your home or in your business. It's almost equal now.
Okay, excellent. Welcome. Great to have you. Bob?
Hi, I'm Bob. I'm a Senior Director of Threat Research and Reporting at Bitdefender. My areas of expertise are data breaches and privacy, so I think we're going to have a very cool talk today.
Definitely. Okay, and Nick, welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Nick Jackson, the Director of Cybersecurity Services at Bitdefender, and hopefully I can share some insights from both the advisory and the offensive side from working with organizations.
Okay, wonderful. Well, great to have all three of you. And I thought a good place to start would be kind of at a high level on this topic. And all three of you see a lot, you know a lot related to privacy, related to tracking, related to all of these types of things. So why don't we start by just sharing something or some things that kind of concern you about how we're tracked and monitored in this 24/7 digital world?
Definitely in today's conversation, we should include ad networks, but we'll get to those in a bit later. Right now, what my main concern is people are protecting their privacy by using the privacy tab, and that's not enough. So I think we should put a pin on that and talk about how privacy is much more than your privacy tab. You need to go VPN, you need to go with a different browser maybe, you need to be aware of ad networks, aware of what companies do to track your behavior, and why not Big Brother as well. But without getting into the paranoia side of things, we need to keep it light. My main point here would be that the privacy tab only protects your history of the browser. Okay, nobody in your house will be aware that you visited some website, but your internet service provider gets to see your traffic exactly as it was a normal browser tab. So there's no difference with respect to your traffic, to how your traffic looks like from the outside. It's a normal browser session, just that your computer doesn't remember it. But other people outside of your home can track your behavior just as easy.
Interesting. So we're going to come back to that topic and kind of broaden that out a little bit. Yeah. It sounds like things that we think are protecting our privacy may not be as good as we're anticipating. Bob, what about you?
Two things that I want to mention here. First one is that everybody is collecting vast amounts of information about ourselves. There was this thing happening in the early 2000s when everybody said that big data is the new gold. Well, it turned out to be the new nuclear waste instead, because it's very difficult to hold securely and deposit it somewhere. And B, we're not helping either. Like, we're generating tremendous amounts of content at this point, which helps the big machinery crunch more information about ourselves. Look at how much video we're generating and how much noise we're making on social media. So anybody who has a working set of eyes on our profiles can infer a lot about ourselves. And they don't even need to steal that information from us, because we're giving it ready on a silver plate.
That's incredible. Okay, Nick?
Yeah, I'd agree. It's similar on the same vein. I think a lot of people are utilizing different tools, different applications, and they're giving data away for free. If the application's free, there's a reason it's free. It's because they're using your data in some way. And I think, there's the aspect of giving away data for free and then the awareness point. And I think those two are extremely important. People don't understand really how much data you're giving away by how long you spend watching a video on Instagram, or how quickly you slide to the next one, what content you focus on, what applications get to see more.
I like how they call it the data exhaust, like the data you leave behind when you, walk around.
People don't know that when you go on, specific applications, specific sites, these providers can see how much battery your device has left. There's some really specific stuff that you leave behind as a trail, which people have no idea. So the awareness piece for me is a big factor.
To your point, when I'm hearing exhaust, I kind of feel the toxic fumes. Probably that's what's happening in the digital space as well.
That's because you're not monetizing it.
Yeah, you're on the wrong side.
You're on the wrong side.
Yes, then that exhaust is gold, right?
Yeah.
Going back to your, but interesting comparison you had to the nuclear waste. I mean, we have so much data in so many places, and yeah, it's kind of scary to think about that.
Imagine what happens when it leaks out.
Absolutely. Yep, that's so true. All right, well, let's go back to the example you gave, Sylvia. So we're thinking of, we're browsing, we're on the internet. So I'm going to use the private tab.
Yeah.
I'm good, right?
Okay.
Or no?
You can go ahead and use the private tab, but that only gives you privacy within your work system, your operating system. Now, we are seeing a lot of companies gathering data, as we spoke before. They are gathering data not from your browser tab. They are gathering data from a lot of traffic you make and leave behind. Your phone, for instance, is also a problem. But referring strictly to the browser, maybe you should consider another browser. Maybe you use privacy-oriented browsers such as Brave. And Brave browser and other such browsers, they look exactly like any other browser. Brave is focused on Chrome, so it looks and behaves like a Chrome browser. But really, it has a lot of features built in that give you privacy to the extent that they remove code from the original browser such that it doesn't leak more information about you. So they are really handling their code base, and they are taking care of everything inside the browser to make sure they don't connect to ad networks. They don't allow connection to ad networks. They don't allow Google to get tracking behavior from you, or other companies to get tracking behavior from you. And these kind of browsers also have a built-in Tor private tab, which allows you to go via Tor network to access that website as well. So you can lose your trails. But I think we should take it one step at a time in discussing these topics. So your private tab should be changed to a private browser, more like that.
Interesting. What are your thoughts about that, or something adjacent to it?
I would escalate the discussion a little bit. Let's talk about cross-device tracking, because we're not owners of one device only, and probably, that private browser is available on the work laptop or on the family desktop. But what happens with a mobile phone, which is broadcasting tremendous amounts of information collected by all the sensors? It has GPS, it has camera, it has audio, it has a lot of different other sensors that are not available to a regular browser on a household device. And then again, if you want to grasp the extent of surveillance, just look at patents pertaining to the advertising industry, like ways these people envision cross-device tracking for devices that are not connected to the internet. I was looking a couple of days ago, for supporting information for this topic, and I stumbled upon a patent that uses subsonic pulses emitted by a TV ad for it to get reported correctly by digital assistants and connected devices like mobile phones with apps. So, advertising gathering metrics, success metrics for specific ads are frightening tools.
That's incredible. I mean, to think that, some people want to go off the grid. How can you go off the grid? It's very difficult to do.
It's totally unheard of. And regardless, say you throw away all your devices and you go live like a monk. If you're in the civilized world, you will not be able to do so, because there's a corner street camera taking real-time videos of you. There is probably the security camera protecting an ATM that has a built-in microphone that can eavesdrop on your conversation. There's even different other people pointing your phone at you, possibly streaming your presence in real time. Look at if you're going, if you take a ride with the subway, for instance, everybody is on their phones. You won't be able to tell which one is playing a game or browsing their favorite social network and which one is live streaming their location to the whole world.
That's incredible. Speaking of that, you and I had talked before the episode about geotagging or different things.
It's a geo-guessing game
Okay.
which starts to gain significant traction.
And this is another way that we're kind of putting things out there ourselves.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
How does it work, or what's the story?
We are still in the episode that's called personal operational security. So let's discuss a little bit about this. Whenever we generate content, we snap pictures of ourselves. We show up in the public with our laptop under our arm, with decals on it. We tell the world specific snippets of information about ourselves. What brands of products we're using, what kind of devices we have on us. When we take pictures, we disclose location, background information that probably escapes our critical eye or critical thinking at that moment. But for somebody that's determined and that collects that information, it becomes a big guessing game, a big puzzle that reveals different aspects of our own. Look, there was this issue with never write down your passwords and stick it on your computer. But at the same time, you're taking pictures of yourself or the family in your home, and incidentally, you reveal the landscape that's shown on your window. That's enough for somebody to pinpoint your location and learn where you live, for instance. And that's pretty frightening.
That's incredible. The stuff like that, Nick, where are you, or what are you thinking about?
It does, but I think, again, on the awareness point, I think all of us have a different perspective because we understand the risk around it. Like even this morning on the walk into the office, I was FaceTiming my family, and I actually made a point to my wife. I said, I think we need to get off the phone because I'm holding the phone up and I don't want people to think I'm recording you. But the amount of people I'd already walked past who probably didn't even think about it or understand the risk or what potentially could happen as a result of that. So I think we're seeing it from a perspective because we understand the issues. But yeah, certainly it's a problem, and I think there's a lot more that can be done. You're talking about the aspect of kind of like geotagging and giving information away. I don't think anyone thinks about that at all. The amount of people that go on holiday, and the minute they go away, they'll put on a public profile on a social media platform. Here's my ticket. I'm going abroad. You've probably posted a picture of your front door when you moved into your first house or outside your front yard. You've told someone where you live. You've gone on a holiday. You're not home.
And PSA, my house is empty.
Yeah. So, you're basically inviting a criminal into your house, telling them when you're away. So you're giving all this information for free. Again, a lot of people don't have private, social media profiles, or it's linked to a profile that isn't private because maybe, two different sites are connected. So there's a lot of things that people don't really realize what they're doing. And again, for me, it comes back to the awareness, understanding what's accessible, what's being given out for free.
Yeah.
I mean, awareness is good, but people still want to share their
100%.
their destinations. Like
Yeah,
going in a destination just to show pictures. I was there. So maybe do that, but do it a bit later after you come back home, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
you're
That's
back
a very
home.
big.
Yeah, then they can
very
try and
good
break
piece
into your
of
house
advice.
when at least you're there.
The tough part is you want all your coworkers to see it that they're at the office and you're at the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah.
So that kind of lose some of that value, but I guess you want your home robbed while you're gone, so you got to weigh what's what. Yeah. Okay, now one of the things you mentioned earlier was about ad networks, and these are the things that I think serve up ads to us and kind of follow us around in some cases, right, or track us.
Yeah, they do actually connect to this subject because ad networks track your location as well. Although your GPS is off, they can track your location by leveraging the fact that your phone is actually doing a lot of stuff in the background, not just GPS, but also searching for Wi-Fi networks all the time. So if your favorite app game has a library, but let's not get too technical, but your favorite game could be scanning for Wi-Fi networks around your phone just because they need to, and they will broadcast that information back to the mothership. And now your favorite game also broadcasts your Wi-Fi networks in your area, which is valuable information for ad networks because they have already a map of all the Wi-Fi networks out there around the world. So if you broadcast what your Wi-Fi neighbors are, I know exactly where you are within meters of a radius. So putting all that together without a GPS connection is pretty
This
It
is
the
actually
thing.
part of the coarse network location system that's built into every single device. So it won't be able to pinpoint you with GPS accuracy, but it will, just by having Wi-Fi networks around you, will allow the device to locate you precisely within 30 meters or so, which is more than enough.
It is, and the ad companies are paying big bucks for this kind of information. They want to know where you are. They also want to know who you are, what's your profile, what's your age, and stuff like that, which you leak at some point. And your device has a unique fingerprint on the network. So the ad networks knows about your device, exact fingerprint, exact location. And it does this although you are pretty privacy aware. But still, there are some functions in your applications which leave data exhaust behind, and that data is being picked up by ad networks. And the most impressive thing I've read about with regards to ad networks is that they do biddings, live real-time biddings. So before your phone shows you an ad, just in the split second before it loads the ad, a bidding takes place within the ad network. Like I have Silvio, he's this and this age, he's located in this place. How much are you willing to pay for an ad on his device? And these ad networks, they bid, and somebody gets the bidding complete and shows you the ad. But mind you, everybody has seen the information about you. So they see the information about you, they don't bid at all, and they just find out about your location just by participating in these ad bids, which take place in real time before they show you the ad in the device. So that's pretty scary, but also impressively technically implemented. I like how they moved around that.
Let's kick it up a notch. There's something that's called data augmentation, and that's something that most ad agencies and services will be willing to do. They purchase additional information about yourself that's used to grow your profile and help them better understand who you are and help them monetize your intentions. Like if they know your behavior, they will be able to put a price tag on that. And all of a sudden, we start with a couple of data points, as Silvio said, and the ad network grows that to a full online behavior. They are able to infer such vast amounts of information about ourselves that they will be able to better sell to us. And when that data is leaking out because these people haven't secured their buckets somewhere in the cloud, that profile becomes available to anyone. Have you taken a personality test as part of a game? Congratulations. The type of monkey that you were willing to find out you are is now a behavioral signal for a psychologist. They will be able to tell who you're likely to vote for.
Yeah, and what you're likely to buy and what you're likely to like. But also think about politics, which is, again, going the big brother area, not getting paranoid or something, but they can pinpoint 500 participants to that protest. Who are the people that were located there? Who are the guys that actually protested for something? And they will start making your... So it can go sideways really fast if you don't keep this in check. And I know that there are legal aspects going on, trying to put good guardrails around this. So let's hope that works out.
Well, in democratic states, yes, that works. But when you're traveling abroad, for instance, and get your phone confiscated at the border, things change a little bit. What you have on the device, what you have been, might be evidence testifying against you.
Yeah, that's fascinating. When I heard you both talking, it reminds me of somebody, and it was a tech executive, I wish I could remember who it was, who said, the ad networks will know you better than you know yourself.
Case in point, the scandal with the supermarket that broke the news on a teenager girl a couple of years ago by sending her an email, congratulations, you're pregnant. And she didn't know, her parents didn't know, the father didn't know. The only ones that knew that she was pregnant was the ad network, because she had this changed behavior around pastry. She was craving for pastry, and the fact that she stopped around the pastry aisle gave her away.
That is incredible.
By the way, stopping around aisles reminds me of Bluetooth beacons as well.
That's what they used.
It seems that phones with apps from a particular sales big company, I don't know, whatever supermarket you like, they have an app that you use as a loyalty customer, and that app actually tries to connect to Bluetooth beacons around the shop, and they know the exact aisle you're at and how much time you spent on it. So they get a lot of telemetry about their customers by placing Bluetooth beacons around aisles. And that actually makes sense. Like
It does make sense, but that's still a little
it is privacy-wise
unsettling.
Yeah.
A lot of companies that we interact with, if you actually ask them at the senior management level, what is your main kind of operation, they will call themselves data companies. A lot of the big food delivery services that all of us think are food delivery companies, they call themselves tech data businesses because they are collecting information on every single individual, on what the trends are in that market. They feed that all to restaurants to say, where do you want to open up restaurants? They're not food delivery companies, they are data companies, understanding the target, the geographies, the characteristics within that area, and they feed this into the restaurant industry, the food and beverage industry, to say, where should you open up? What trends are working in this market? What's the, should I open an Indian or a Chinese or a French brasserie, all that kind of stuff. They have all this information because they are data mining. They're using all the information.
On top of that, I just saw an investigation about the fact that use of loyalty cards to get discounts will put you immediately on the early adopters list for something that's called dynamic pricing. Think of ride sharing, but for food. There's this paper-like labels that show prices at the aisle. And when you go near these, if the intelligence system has enough data points about you, they will change pricing on the spot just for you. Hey, how much you're willing to buy for the regular food that you're purchasing, knowing that you're in a rush, knowing that you have to pick up your kid from school. Probably you're not going to look for the best deal. You're going to take the price that's right for you right
I
there.
feel like this episode is becoming how do you use your business to exploit privacy of people?
No, that's incredible. I want to ask you, so what do you think we should do as far as increasing our own operational security? And that could be, like you said, it could be as an organization or it could be as an individual. What kind of things can we do to kind of at least limit what is collected on us or how we're tracked? Do you have any suggestions? Because we've got a lot of scary things. What are some positives that we can take away?
Well, your phones are already built to protect you if you enable that feature. It's not on by default, which is in the works. European Union at least is starting to require 2 approvals from the user, not just 1, but 2 approvals in order for companies to track you like this further on. It's going to become law at some point. So the legal system is working to some extent, but you know how they move along. So that's going to take a while. Meanwhile, you can use your settings on your devices, Android, iPhones, whatever they are, and you can block privacy stuff there. Not going to go into every detail right now, but you have some features there that will block Bluetooth connections, that will block ad networks from tagging you, from tracking you. Ask this app not to track me. If that sounds like something you've seen on your phone, you just need to enable that. So, but usually people just skip. I want the final app to be installed already. Come on, skip next. And that's not really working out for our privacy, which reminds me about LLMs and using a free plan to your favorite LLM like Gemini or ChatGPT. That free plan as well comes with a risk. So your way of thinking, your way of putting stuff out there is being trained on by whatever company is running that LLM. So you should be aware of that, especially if you're running a business and you're trying to get things automated faster, but you have a free plan. If you insert your private information in that LLM, that becomes training data for that LLM. So you're leaking information by yourself.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's great. Bob, what about you for final thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that we need to start. Silvio said that we don't need to be paranoid about it. I beg to differ. I would say that you have to be aware of what's going on around you and of how you're interacting with the device. Minimize your digital footprint. Don't post anything online, especially not pictures of kids, because you'll help build an online persona for them later, even if they haven't explicitly agreed with that. Let them develop their own online persona. Just restrain to blocking an email address for them on your favorite email service provider, because that might be in short supply when they become of legal age. And one more thing that I would like to advise people: minimize the amount of application that you have on your phone. You don't need to have the entire app store downloaded on your device. If you're not using an app, remove it, right? It most likely has an advertising SDK inside it that's draining your battery, and at the same time, it's sucking all the information about you and your whereabouts and sending it to the cloud. One last thing from on my side, and I'll shut up. Be aware of what the internet knows about you. Sometimes you're not making any mistakes and your data still gets exposed because hackers breach different services that you are legally obliged to access, like personal. Last, and I'm going to shut up. It's keep an eye on what the internet knows about you. Sometimes you're not making any mistakes, but still reveal a lot of information about you. Case in point, there's a data breach with your favorite service provider or with your utility company, and these people have information about you. Even if you haven't leaked them yourself, your data will end up in a digital landfill where it gets inspected by the bad guys, may be used to augment what the internet already knows about you. Do simple searches on the internet. Sign up for a digital identity monitoring tool that will allow you to get a warning in advance when information about you becomes available. If that's credit card information, just cancel that and get a new one, so you minimize the window of opportunity for hackers to exploit that.
Yeah, great. Thank you for those points. Excellent. All right, Nick, you're up.
I'll take a healthy middle ground. I'm not going to say don't be paranoid. I'm not going to say be paranoid. I'm going to say be conscious. I think, everyone has a perfect point to say, and I think definitely you have to be conscious. I think too many people, like I said before, they don't understand that when they're engaging with these apps, that they're working with an LLM, that the information they're putting forward is going somewhere. It's training someone. It's allowing someone to build a profile. It's allowing potentially a cyber criminal or a criminal in general to understand more about you, your habits, your lifestyle, which again, if people are using passwords that link to their lifestyle, again, you're helping paint the picture for common words and common trends. And again, on the posting pictures of your children, again, there's just a risk of that in general, which I'm sure most people are already aware of. So I think people need to build that awareness, build that understanding, and then make a conscious effort to think about what they're doing before they do it. If you're going to connect to public Wi-Fi, don't go on your banks. If you're using a standard browser, be cautious what you're logging into, be cautious what you're accessing, and then people can, to some degree, live a life without being too paranoid. But again, it depends what you're doing on your device. Again, a lot of people are using mobile devices now to do a lot more than they ever did in the past. Most people probably don't do mobile banking on anything but the mobile. You're not using your desktop anymore, a lot of people. And again, do people really understand what they're doing? If you've got loads of applications on that device, to the point about the attack surface that Bob just mentioned, it's a risk. So be aware, be conscious, but don't be too paranoid.
Yeah, okay, well, that's great. I love the different
Too late for
that. Bob says
You're a
it's
lost
too
cause.
late. Yeah, exactly. You should have talked to him earlier, Nick, then it might have changed things. No. Hey, thank you all three. Silvio, Bob, Nick, thank you so much for your expertise. And definitely there's more to uncover on this topic. And, I guess word of the wise from Nick, who closed us out, that, it is helpful to be aware of what is going on and kind of educate ourselves, right, on this topic. So thank you so much for joining us here at the Bitdefender studio today. Really appreciate you being part of this episode of Cybercrime from the Frontline, and we'll see you next time.